Hello, today we are going to introduce entrepreneurship education. I'm Sylvester Odundo from Friends College Kaimosi. My email address is odundosylvester54@gmail.com. My phone number is 0706248870. Definition of terms. When you're talking about definitions of terms, first we need to remember that entrepreneurship is one of the most important business skills we have in the world today. No wonder the government of Kenya has put more emphasis in entrepreneurship as a unit to be taught in quite a number of colleges, actually all the colleges and universities in the country. There are a few terms that we need to learn even as we advance in this particular unit, and one is entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person who has the ability to identify and evaluate a business opportunity in the environment, gather resources to take advantage of the business opportunity, and initiate appropriate to ensure success. Two, we have entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is a process or an act of identifying business opportunities or activities and then marshaling resources that includes land, capital, labor, premises, etc. in order to start a business venture or expand an existing one with the aim of making profit. An enterprise is a legally recognized organization that is designed to provide goods and or services to customers. And lastly, we have business person. A business person is a person who undertakes any business activity for the purpose of making profit. Now, we want to talk about the global overview of entrepreneurship, and we can say that it is in the 20th century thought on entrepreneurship from Joseph Schumpeter, on an Australian-born and then Harvard University-based economist and sociologist, which has most influenced contemporary thinking about entrepreneurship. In Schumpeter's view, entrepreneurs are innovators who drive the creative destruction process, reforming or revolutionizing the pattern of production. In many respects, sustainable businesses are significant, changing, if not revolutionizing, the patterns of production and service delivery, transforming business practices in ways that can benefit the environment and society. So there are quite a history of entrepreneurship in Kenya. In today's world, entrepreneurship is not only defined by the ability to make a successful business out of an existing idea or opportunity, but also being innovative at it. However, through this is the original case of entrepreneur is way different. The first known and documented case of entrepreneurship was in 7000 BC in New Guinea. The first, that was actually the documented information about entrepreneurship. Here, the local residents, who were mostly traders and merchants, exchanged an obsidian rock used for making arrowheads for their needed goods. In Kenya, the journey to entrepreneurship development is no different. To be where we are in terms of entrepreneurial ventures as a country, it has taken combined efforts of the Kenyan government and the creative minds of its citizens. The first entrepreneurial ventures can be dated to the pre and post-colonial periods. With the country boasting a vast wealth of resources, individuals from all walks of life were able to come into the country and pitch tents. And today, we can say that entrepreneurial efforts has gotten a big plus to the country state sector and a huge lesson to the residents who have also taken up the call and have set up quite a number of entrepreneurial ventures. Youths are introduced to entrepreneurial in education with the goal of getting them to think and positively contribute to the economy of the country. And that's why today we have this lesson just to impart skills in the area of entrepreneurship. What are the myths? What are the myths associated with entrepreneurship in Kenya? So that is the next thing we want to talk about. So number one thing that we need to remember is that entrepreneurs take wild risk as one of the myths. Even though risk is an integral part of the business, the start of business is not considered at the highest risk. An entrepreneur is more likely to face bigger risks at the later stage of the business. And therefore, this myth is not holding true. Second myth is that entrepreneurs introduce breakthrough inventions in their startup business. It will be easy to assume that entrepreneurs introduce new inventions, usually technological inventions. This is not true. Innovation may be important, but what makes entrepreneurship successful is the ability to execute an ordinary idea exceptionally. 3. Most successful entrepreneurs have years of experience in their chosen line of business. This, as much as people will want to think it is true, it is not true. There are those that have started business with totally zero experience, and the businesses have succeeded. Then number 4, one needs a lot of money to start a business. No, it is not true. You can always start from zero, from nothing, from just donations from people. So it is not a matter that you need to get a lot of money from banks or from other places for you to start a business. And lastly, we are saying that startups use equity, not debt money. Again, that is not true, because you can be able to amass little money within your own circles without you having to borrow money from credit facility or from banks or from lenders. Theories of entrepreneurship and their importance. Now, these refer to the various approaches which have been advanced to give an explanation as to why entrepreneurs behave the way they do. These theories try to explain whether entrepreneurs are born or made. So in this lesson, we are going to learn 3 theories: economic theory, psychological theory, and sociological theory. So we are going to begin with economic theory. And economic theory holds that entrepreneurial behavior is determined by economic factors. Thus, entrepreneurs are greatly influenced by economic activities. Thus, entrepreneurial activities take place where conditions are supportive or conducive to investment. Let's go to psychological theory. Now, under psychological theory, it holds that entrepreneurs possess unique needs, values, and attributes which drive them into entrepreneurial behavior. It holds that people have personal traits and attributes, mental desires to be independent. Entrepreneurs are characterized by high need for achievement, which tends to give them high desire to take personal responsibility and risk. They have little interest in routine activities, which are not challenging. And lastly, we have the sociological theory, and this maintains that environmental factors such as values and beliefs influence entrepreneurial behavior. According to this theory, beliefs and societal aspects such as social status and recognition influences entrepreneurial behaviors. And what are those importance of this? What are the importance of these theories? Now, when we are looking at the importance of theory, it is important for you to know that entrepreneurial theories bring greater understanding of entrepreneurial behavior exhibited by different entrepreneurs. They also enable one to understand the need for entrepreneurship and why some people are more entrepreneurial than others. So this we'll try and explain why in some communities they are more entrepreneurial compared to other communities, like in Kenya, where we regard Kikuyus as more entrepreneurial compared to people from Western. The theories also bring out various approaches and perceptions held by entrepreneurs, and also show that the desire for entrepreneurship is innate as well as environmental determined. And lastly, it will help us understand the role played by role models through networks that provide support. Now, when you're talking about role models, you're talking about those that have made an impact in the area of entrepreneurship, such as Richard Branson, Bill Gates, and so many others that you can be able to mention. Affecting entrepreneurship development in Kenya. That is our next subtitle. And we can actually categorize them into 2: economic and social factors. And under economic, we are saying that economic environment exercises the most direct and immediate influence on entrepreneurship, and is likely because this is likely because people become entrepreneurs due to a necessity where there are no other jobs or because of opportunity. The economic factors that affect the growth of entrepreneurship are the following. One is capital. And when we are talking about capital, we are saying increase in capital investment in viable projects results in increase in profits, which help accelerate the process of capital formation. Entrepreneurship activity two gets a boost with the easy availability of funds for investment. Two, we have labor, and we're saying easy availability of right type of workers also affects entrepreneurship in the sense that the quality rather than quantity of labor will influence the emergence and growth of entrepreneurship. The problem of labor immobility can be solved by providing infrastructural facilities, including efficient transportation. Three is raw material. Raw material is very important because without raw material, then it is impossible for you to churn out a product so that you can be able to maintain an establishment or an enterprise. Next, we want to talk about a market. Now, after you've made your product, you need a market where you can be able to sell your produce. Without this market, and that means your entrepreneurial venture or an entrepreneur is going to be hampered in terms of advancing. Infrastructure is also very important, and we are saying expansion of entrepreneurship presupposes properly developed communication and transportation facilities. It not only helps to enlarge the market, but expand the horizons of business too. One can be able to communicate with another person in America or any other far place from East Africa because of communication establishment. Now, let's look at the social factors and other social factors. We are talking about the case factor. Remember, in Kenya, we have quite a number of Indians who are doing a lot of business, and there are certain cultural practices and values in every society, like in this case, India, which influences the actions of individuals. So these practices and value have evolved over hundreds of years. For instance, if you consider the caste system, there is a group called Varna system among the Hindus in India, and it is divided in the population on the basis of caste into four divisions, such as the Brahmana are regarded as priests, the Kshatriya are regarded as warrior, the Vaishya are known for trade, and Shudra are good when it comes to skills or artisan. It has also defined limits with the social mobility of individuals. Two, we have social mobility, and in this we mean the freedom to move from one case to another. So in such case, it is impossible for one, or one is not permitted to move from one group to the other because of the caste. There we have family background. This factor includes size of family, type of family, economic status of the family, and it is easier for one to become an entrepreneur if the family background supports or it is wealthy enough to support a particular enterprise because it provides capital and any other um, experience in terms of business it may have. I remember the Naivas supermarket where they get a lot of experience from their father or from their parents, and they have done very well as children. Now, under family, we are also talking about education. When we are talking about education, then we mean that it enables one to understand the outside world and equips him with basic knowledge and skills to deal with day-to-day problems. So it is very important. And that's why we actually do this study, so that we can be equipped with knowledge that can be able to help us run a business very well. Attitude of the society is also very important. And under this, we are saying a related aspect to this is attitude of the society towards entrepreneurship. Certain societies will encourage innovations and novelties, while others will not. And for those that will encourage, they end up also approving entrepreneurial actions and rewards like profits. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we also want to talk about culture. And culture value is very, very important. And we are saying that it motivates or impels men to action. Entrepreneurial growth requires proper motives like profit making, acquisition of prestige, and attainment of social status. So if at all entering into business makes you improve in terms of the score, as the score of being regarded as a person that is of high status, then a person will be motivated to join this kind of a venture. And that is what we can be able to say on the factors. We want to look at the contribution that entrepreneurship has made to the development of Kenya as a country. And one, we are saying it has been able to stimulate indigenous entrepreneurship and technological development. It has created jobs for themselves and other people. When we're talking about how it has been able to create jobs, when people are stimulated to start their own ventures, then you find that they create jobs and the level of unemployment reduces. It has, as a result, therefore, created wealth and has been able to distribute income to places far off. Utilizing locally available resources, it has been very uh, it has been very successful when it comes to utilizing locally available resources. And an example is the use of the dust or charcoal to make briquettes, and this has been a very important exercise. Dispersal and diversification of economic activities and mobilization of savings, that is also another contribution that entrepreneurship has made. Promotion of entrepreneurial culture. So when we see models doing lot in the area of entrepreneurship, we find that quite a number of youths get that as a drive for them also to make it in life in the area of entrepreneur. It has also increased regional business activities through the export of manufactured goods. Today, you will hear of an entrepreneur exporting things made of pastry and so many other things, tapestry, pot making, and this has actually generated a lot of income through export earnings or import and export earning. Promotion of indigenous local technology such as the Jua Kali. If you go to Gikomba, you're going to find quite a number of men and women doing Jua Kali works, and as a result it has promoted this particular technology and it has improved the status, the living standards of these people. It has also raised the economic productivity level of the entire country, and lastly it has narrowed the missing middle gap, meaning a person with an entrepreneurial idea can always make something, then without passing through middlemen, that particular product can reach the consumer, and therefore the person that is in that particular business earns handsomely compared to if there were middlemen in between. Now we want to dive into the deep sea of entrepreneurship, and we want to identify the different types of entrepreneurs. These are actually as a result of the acquired or the learned behaviors depending on entrepreneurial environmental background. And there are three types of entrepreneurs, just to mention a few. In other schools of thought, they will give you more than this. But we are going to have craft entrepreneurs in this study, opportunistic entrepreneurs, and lastly, the egoistic entrepreneurs. Let's look at them very closely. So let's start with the craft entrepreneurs, and these are those who may start a business using their learned or acquired skills, and they may exhibit the following characteristics. One, they are of the blue-collar origin, they come from the informal sector of the employment. They also have some little bit of training background, which is focused on the current business activity they pursue. They may have also low or high technology experience because they don't spend quite a lot of their time in formal education kind of learning. They also have a reputation in a specific industry. You'll find that people will always refer you to a particular person because of the ability of their reputation when it comes to the skill that they do business on, either masonry, teaching, engineering. They are marginal people and were mostly associated with fellow workers, and they do not identify with unions. They also tend to hire people they have known for a long time. And lastly, we are saying they gain their customers through prior relations or personal contacts. You get your car in a garage, and from that experience you can be able to pass that information to another person who is a customer with a car which has developed some kind of a mechanical problem. Then you refer this particular person to this craft entrepreneur, and that's how they gain customers. We also want to look at the next type of entrepreneur. We refer this as opportunistic entrepreneur. They first do a scan of the environment in order to search a viable business opportunity that they may be able to work upon. So these entrepreneurs exhibit the following characteristics. They are of the middle class origin. In other words, we are saying these are not people that do not have any skill. They are actually very educated people, but it reaches a point when, after scanning a particular environment, they see an opportunity and they want to maximize that opportunity in the area of entrepreneurship. Their education is normally involving many different kinds of courses like communication skills, management, agriculture engineering for agriculture students, and so many other things that may form part of a course for uh, quite a number of courses, and at the end of the day, after scanning, he may be able to delve into a particular business. They also have a variety of work experience, and they have been through various education courses. They are more aggressive and very ambitious. They have been in senior profile levels in employment, and these are the people that after maybe having a stint in some kind of a routine job environment, they will always want to try something out, and they are previously associated with managers and business owners. And when we are saying this, is that they have actually acquired a lot of experience as managers and business owners, and therefore they believe that they can be able to start their own business on themselves, and they believe that those holding the lower post in an organization should handle operations. And lastly, their customers are neither gained through prior relations nor personal contacts, but actually from marketing. They do a lot of marketing for them to get business. And lastly, we have the egoistic entrepreneurs. Just from the word ego, they enter into business because they would like to satisfy their ego. And this type of entrepreneurs exhibit the following characteristics. One, they are very eager to experiment upon new ideas. They can acquire material and financial resources to experiment upon new ideas. Remember, these are people that are not short of funds. They have a lot of money. So out of their ego, they just want to like do something that can be able to make them be noticed, so that they can also be regarded as directors maybe of a particular business or company. So out of their ego, their economic system is well developed enough to bear the cost of venturing into a business, and they are well networked and are able to find new markets and customers with much ease, because actually they have a lot of money. They can actually brand their work. They can do a lot of marketing in the media because of financial endowment. Yes, now let's look at qualities of an entrepreneur. So when we are talking about qualities of an entrepreneur, number one, they are risk takers. They are autonomous. They are creative and innovative. They actually exercise internal locus of control. They always have need for achievement. They are keen to learning. They have ability to marshal resources, and they are very time conscious. And lastly, they put their things in order, so they possess organization skills. They also are very hardworking. They possess integrity. They are persistent in their venture. They are self-confident. They are always seeking information that can help them advance in their business. They always look for opportunities that can be able to propel them to another level, another grade of their business. They need to be very honest in their ventures. And last but not least, there are people that are very, very goal oriented. Now, what are the roles? Now, when we are talking about the roles, we are talking about those responsibilities that entrepreneurs do. They are first initiators. They're the one that come up with an idea, their original idea. So they are supposed to be the one initiating so that they can be able to have a following in terms of the employees that would want to look at the vision of this person so they can be able to follow suit. They are also the directors. Directors meaning they supervise the overall operation of that particular business or business enterprise. They are managers. They put things into order. They organize different activities and operations and identify the people that can be able to perform very well in a particular enterprise. Then also there are financiers. When we're talking about financiers, we're talking about money. These are the people that provide money to making that enterprise a success. It's always a pleasure to have you. Until we meet next time, it is a big thank you. And remember to subscribe. Bye for now.